Welcome, everybody, to an exclusive episode of The Sheriff. Boy, oh boy, would Don Cherry be proud of us, and do I ever have a treat for you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I call myself the Canadian kid from Scarborough. One of the reasons for that is one of my most enjoyable things to do as a kid was walk over to my grandfather's house. We lived 5 minutes down the street and watch Hockey Night in Canada, the Toronto Maple Leafs against whoever they were playing. Now, for one, I knew I was going to get hot chocolate and Raisin Bran toast, and I was happy about that. But another reason was I got to watch my idols on TV. Now, the older I got, the more I seemed to gravitate towards the bigger characters, the tough guys, the guys that put the bums in the seats. And as I started my podcast, these are the exact same players that I tried to get on this show. The big characters, the go-getters, the guys that stick up for their teammates. Now, what if I were to tell you that today that I have the biggest character in the National Hockey League? And what if I were to tell you that today I have one of the most exciting signings that the Toronto Maple Leafs have done in years, and that this player has the potential to be not only a legend in Toronto, but the most popular player since Ty Domi? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to introduce him right now. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls all over the world, I would like to introduce to you my guest tonight. He hails from Winnipeg, Manitoba. At 6'2", 225 pounds, he is a heavyweight. He is a professional hockey player and business owner. He was drafted by the St. Louis Blues in the 2005 NHL entry draft. He had a massive 15 minutes in penalties, his first National Hockey League game, over 800 NHL games, and over 1,000 career PIMs. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, Mr. Ryan Reaves. How are you doing today, my man?
That was the most electric introduction to a podcast I've ever had in my life, so it's a good start right there.
Well, dude, I mean, honestly, to be honest with you, I'm very nervous. This is a big show to me. But more importantly, I'm just happy that you're here, brother. And to be honest, I want to welcome you officially to Toronto. We are so happy to have you, bro. We have a team here that we know that we can win the cup. We need a couple players to get us over the hump. You know what I mean? You, Max, and Tyler, I think that you guys are the secret remedy. And I think that you guys are going to be the finishing pieces to what we need for a cup. What do you think, my friend?
Man, I hope so. Like you watch this team over the last years, and they dominate the regular season. They just, sometimes fall short in the playoffs. But I hope with some of the additions, we're gonna buzz this year, and we're gonna bring a cup to this city.
Now, Ryan, I noticed that I get guests on this show that could be like my little brother Liam, that are really a lot much bigger than me. I'm usually bigger than guys, but with you, dude, it's not even about the size. I can tell that you were on a special training regimen this year. I could just tell, man. I could tell by your posture. I could tell the classes you were probably taking, some chiropractic stuff. I want to give the credit when credit's due. Am I right? Did you do some extra training this year? I
tried to work on my speed a little bit. These young kids coming to the league, they're getting faster and faster. It's harder for me to keep up, especially with these big old feet. So I'm trying, but yeah, a lot of speed stuff. Working on the hands. Obviously, that's always a must. But just trying to keep up with these young kids.
I hear you, brother. I hear you. But I gotta give credit, man. I know that you're working hard. So now listen, Ryan. I was saying in the intro, big characters, go-getters, guys that stick up for their teammates. These are special types of people. You fit that bill perfectly. I like to find out, how do these big characters come about? How do they come? I usually think it's from their beginning. So that's where we're going to go. We're going to Winnipeg, baby.
It's absolutely from Winnipeg.
We're going to the Peg. So, I mean, dude, your family, I would say you guys are like a royal sports family. I mean, your dad's an absolute legend, one of the best Winnipeg Blue Bombers of all time. And not even that, what he did after his playing career is what impressed me the most. So I want to get into all that. But let's talk about young Ryan Reaves. I think I read 5 years old for hockey, 8 years old for football. What was it like growing up? And okay, tell me about your brothers and sisters first. How many brothers, how many sisters?
So I got a younger brother, an older half sister. She lives out in Arizona. Grew up with my brother. Like you said, grew up in Winnipeg. And going back all the way back then, that's exactly where, the personality came. There was no sensitivity allowed in my house. I used to have some crazy buck teeth, and my nickname for my mom was Bucky. She didn't call me Ryan. It was just, hey, Bucky, all the time. And, growing up with my dad and my brother, it was just a constant war. We had this little tiny hallway that led to all the bedrooms, and it was a little L shape. And if one guy was on this side and somebody was coming on the other side, you weren't making it out the way, like one person wasn't making it out the way they wanted to. You're getting pushed all the way back. You're getting slammed into walls. It was just a constant war. There was no, you couldn't be sensitive in my house. And I think, that kind of where the personality comes from. And, you could chirp me all you want. It's not going to bother me, but, I'll definitely give you some too.
I absolutely love it. I have 2 younger brothers and an older sister. We had sibling rivalries pretty much our entire childhood. Now, I know that your dad played for the Blue Bombers when you were born, right?
Yeah.
So now, were you able to see him play, or did he retire before you were old enough to remember stuff?
So he retired when I was 3. The only thing I really remember, we had a VHS cassette of his highlights, and it was like 10 minutes long, and I used to watch that cassette once every couple days probably. I just loved watching it, and back then I was a lot bigger into football. Mm-hmm. I lived, eat, breathe all football. I played a ton of hockey obviously too, but it was it just kind of grew up in my family.
Okay, so now, and it's Jordan, right? Your younger brother. Yeah. Okay, so now I know that you and Jordan are huge characters. How many years are you guys apart?
3.
Okay, so you guys are 3 years apart. That's perfect, just like me and my brother Patrick. So I know exactly what that was like, man. So you guys growing up, do you believe that you made Jordan more competitive, more tough, faster, quicker because of your sibling rivalry? Like you guys competing nonstop. Like, do you believe that you have a little bit of the responsibility of some of his success, being you're the older brother?
Absolutely, but he also has a lot of credit for my success too. It was, when we got to a certain age where, I was always still a little bit bigger than him, but when we started getting a little closer, that's when we really started competing against each other. And even, when I'd go back home, 18, 19, 20, we make these stupid games in the backyard playing football. You had to catch with one hand. And then, with the thing with me and my brother, games get created and then rules get made, and you could take this shit to, a national team. You know what I mean? Yeah. You could make a league out of it.
Yep.
We played some crazy fun games, but all these games had some type of skill involved in it, and for sure, we made each other better all the time.
I hear you, man, and I'm absolutely loving it. So now let's get to the point where, like how you said, when you guys got to know each other a little bit better. So like what age would you say that was at? When you guys were kind of the teenage age, or?
We kind of grew apart for a little bit. He kind of went down one path, I went down another, and we kind of rekindled that, that real true friendship. I'd say probably around when I was 21, 22.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We were really close when we were younger, and then there was just a little gap there. And then when I was 21, 22, he was always my best friend, but we became real tight again. And I would come home for summers all the time, and we'd see each other. And then on him, credit to him, he played basketball in college, and couldn't find work out in Europe. Came back and tried out in the CFL, and shit, the next year he made it. Been playing in the CFL for, I think, 8 years now.
Right on. And currently he's on the Edmonton Elks, correct? Yeah. Wow, bro. Like, you know what? I gotta give him
I'll give him one of those too. He's a beast, man. That man's an absolute athlete.
I mean, I like to say that me and my brother Liam have a world record because we played professional hockey and professional basketball at the same time as brothers.
There you go.
And then I hear little stories about, oh, well, what about Popeye Jones? But it was Popeye Jones and his son, Seth Jones. It's different. I'm talking about 2 brothers. Do you know if there's another set of brothers that have played like professional football and professional hockey at the same time?
The Getzlaffs.
The Getzlaffs?
Yeah, so... obviously Getzy played in, in the NHL.
Yeah.
And his brother plays in the CFL.
Really?
I believe, I don't know if he still plays, but I believe he played for, Actually, I don't know what team, but I think he was a receiver though.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Getzlaff's got a football brother. I didn't know that. I'm sure the viewers didn't know that either. So that's something. So now I want to get a little deeper into like when you started. Okay, so now there's a school that you went to that is pretty a prominent school.
Yeah.
What grade did you start in that school?
3.
Okay, because I saw that you could be from kindergarten all the way to grade 12. And I like to do my research, bro. I was looking at this school. I'm looking at the vines on the buildings. I'm like, this looks like it's like a school in the middle of like a little country area in England. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying? And then I'm thinking to myself, I mean, I had an opportunity to go to St. Michael's College here in Toronto. So I know about some of like the higher end schools. I know about the Notre Dame program in Saskatchewan. And I'm like, wow, this program is incredible. Like, do you mind talking a little bit about that? Because we're going to get into your last year there, a decision that you made to stay and all that. So,
Yeah.
but this school though, man, like what's up with this school, man? Like,
No, well, you know what? Actually, it's not really a hockey program. It's it's honestly just a private school that my grandpa really wanted me to go
Okay.
to, and yeah, they kind of made that decision for me. I played AAA my whole life, and the thing with that school is there was one game every other year where they would let the whole school out and you would play in front of the school. And I remember watching my first one when I was a little bit young. I was like, man, I wish I could do that. And we got my 1 year when I went to high school, whole school gets let out. We played the first period, come in, and the headmaster came in and told us one of our buddies had died playing hockey for the B team. And so that was the one game that I always wanted to play, and it was just such a shitty ending to it. But man, that school, not a hockey program, put it that way.
Yeah.
But had a lot to do with my career for sure.
yes.
Yeah.
Co-ed,
Co-ed.
right? You went there from grade 3 to grade 12?
Yeah.
Okay.
To grade 11.
So grade 11.
Yeah. So, sorry, Grandpa, but I got drafted to Brandon, and they asked me to come play in grade 11. I'd already paid the tuition. Tuition was a little expensive. Wasn't good. Then they wouldn't give it back. Same thing happened in grade 12. My hockey coach actually went up to the headmaster with me and asked if they would release me, and they allowed. Long story short, they allowed me to leave. So I left for Brandon in grade 12. I graduated Crocus Plains in Brandon, Manitoba.
Okay, right on. So now, I was a year off with my research. I thought that you said no to Brandon, that you wanted to finish up in this school because didn't you guys win a championship that year?
Back to back.
You guys won back to back.
Only 2 in school history.
Okay,
Yeah.
and this is all of Canada, right? Like for the high schools, for prep schools.
That's provincials.
Okay,
Manitoba.
but huge though.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so this is perfect. Let's get into Brandon because I know that they named you an assistant captain pretty early. Was it your rookie year or was it your second?
No, it was my second year.
Okay, so your
Yeah.
second year you got the assistant captaincy. Now, I want to talk a little bit about that because there's been a few times where I've gotten that opportunity. That must be an honor to be a teenager and to be an alternate captain for a major junior team.
It was, and you know what? It's funny because I had a rough first year. I was,
Okay.
doing some. I was young. I was doing some stupid shit here and there, and the GM, the coach, the owner had told me. He was a little disappointed with me at the end of the year.
Okay.
In easier, a little harsher words, but we came back the next year and. We're sitting there like, we're naming the captains. I'm sitting there, listening, and then they announced Ryan Reaves. Like, what, me? Are you serious? Did we just have this meeting last year? But man, it was such an honor. I took that so seriously. I smartened up, and I think that was probably one of the things I not necessarily regret, but one thing I wish I could have accomplished in the NHL. I know it's harder with a guy that sometimes in and out of the lineup. To give him a letter, but that would have been cool. But I'm happy with the career I've had.
Right on, right on. Well, you know what? I gotta give an applause for that too because that's pretty cool stuff, man. So now, before we get into the adult stuff, I want to stay with the young time. I don't know how I overlooked it. I think I was a little bit excited about some of your stories, so I want to talk about a tournament that you participated in. It was when we were in Pee Wee. The
Okay.
Pee Wee International Tournament
the
in
Quebec
Quebec City.
tournament.
I
Oh,
see
yeah.
the smile.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so
Still got that song stuck in my damn head.
what the Pee Wee
Yeah.
Vive the Pee Wee Carnival.
Yeah.
That's it, man. So now I love asking my guests that played in that tournament about the tournament because there's so many different levels to it. My first question, was that your first taste of stardom? Was that your first taste of the big stage, man?
Yeah, big stage, I guess. Stardom, not necessarily, but that was, you play at the Coliseum, they sell it out for Pee Wee kids. I'll say this, there's two things I remember about that tournament. One, how everybody was smoking in the concourse, and it just smelled like cigarettes in there. And two, how crazy the fans were about, you go on the ice and you like throw a frisbee or throw the pins, right?
Yeah.
So I think it was our first game. I threw a frisbee into the crowd, and this little kid went to grab it, and this old man just went and stepped on it. And this kid's crying. The mom comes over and says, "Hey, give it to the kid," and he's just sitting there like, "Nope, nope, nope," and would not give it to him. And they get into this fight with this old man. This kid screaming, crying, wouldn't give it to him just because he wanted to collect this damn frisbee.
Yeah. They're passionate. What I found the most incredible part of it is like these people really did like buy tickets to get into the arena
and sold it out.
Like I think it's 15,000. I could be wrong.
No, you're not wrong. No.
Like 14 and a half, 15,000. And like, so I just couldn't get over how into hockey they were. And that's why it always boggles my mind about the NHL's decision not to give Quebec City a chance, man. They got that big arena just sitting there. It's like a spaceship right beside this old city. A spaceship just landed waiting for an NHL team. So, I mean, I had to ask you about that. How did you guys do in the tournament?
Yeah. Here's a funny story. So, you remember the name Cam Barker?
I sure do, man.
Okay, so he was on my team. He's obviously
Chicago Blackhawks, Cam Barker?
Yeah, best
Okay.
player on our team.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, going to be a prospect.
Oh, yeah.
So it's double elimination. So if you win your first game, you can't lose another game after that.
Yes.
So we win our first. We go into a shootout the second game, and they're up 2-1, I think, and Barks is next. He's got to make it to push the next shooter. And this guy, he so cocky, he comes down, takes a clapper from the blue line,
No
sails
way.
4 feet wide, tournament over.
He took a clapper from the blue line.
From the blue line. I can still see the play.
Barks. I'm
Barks,
not
smart man. Come
impressed,
on, dog.
bro. I'm not impressed with that at all. See, so that actually eliminated you guys
That
from
was
the
it.
tournament
And then we played in the mall with the roller coaster.
with the roller
flying over.
coaster and all that in the Capitale.
Yeah.
So now, you were billeted for that tournament, or did your parents, were they able to come?
No, I was billeted.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you were billeted. Do you remember any of that stuff? Do you remember the family? I remember it vaguely. I don't really remember.
You know what? I remember the kitchen for some reason. I don't remember the family. So I'm sorry if I don't remember. My bad.
Yeah, it's all right. Did they speak any English? Do you remember? Or?
Yeah.
They did?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, they did.
Because I remember mine didn't speak a lick of English, man, and it was
Which
a
is
very
crazy.
weird
They just
situation.
stick you in there like that.
Yeah, it was cool. So, all right, so cool. So now I'm gonna switch things around a little bit now. So now I want to talk about your draft. I want to talk about your NHL draft because this was a talking point for me a lot this year, and I really would love to get your opinion on this topic. So now, first of all, where was your draft?
No idea.
You don't remember?
Absolutely not.
So you didn't go, obviously.
No.
Okay, so you
I
didn't
didn't
go.
think I was getting drafted.
You didn't think you were getting drafted. Okay, so that's cool. My agent had a rule: if you weren't rated in the first 3 rounds, you weren't going. Right? So I sat at home. Now, even though you didn't think you were getting drafted,
Yeah.
did you still kind of prepare? Like, were you guys sitting around? Like, I don't know if it was still the internet or actually you were the 5th round, so it would have been the second day.
Yeah.
So you would have like you tell me.
Yeah,
Ryan.
dead serious. I think I forgot it was draft day.
Come on, man.
I know. You know what? I talked to 2 teams. I think St. Louis and Florida, and Florida was like, you may go late 7. St. Louis was, kind of same thing. Maybe you go late rounds, whatever. And I was actually on the way to the cottage with my buddy, and we were just losing cell phone service. And my other buddy called me, and he just said, "So St. Louis, hey?" I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Well, you just got drafted to St. Louis." It's like, "Oh, stop the car!" We slammed the brakes. We're in the middle of the highway, and then I get a call from, is it Larry Plow back then? Yeah, I think Larry
Yeah.
Plow.
Yeah.
Welcoming to the team. Couldn't believe it. sitting on the side of a highway. Almost missed the call for my draft day, but
Jeez.
yeah, funny.
So that must have turned into quite the party that night. You guys were on your way to a cottage.
Yeah.
You got a call. Hey, man, you got drafted to the National Hockey League. You're 18 years old.
Yeah. That was a good night, and then I came back after the weekend, and my parents threw a keg party for me.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a good one. We had all the parents doing keg
Yeah.
stands. Oh yeah, it was a hell of a time.
Okay. All right. So now that is extremely unique, right? Very unique. And I appreciate the story. So now let's get a little bit deeper now. So now, although, both of us were not rated the highest for the draft, we didn't really think we were going to go. Okay, we went. A little bit different of experience. I was a barbecue at home, got the same call as you. Now, what I want to ask you is, do you believe that the NHL draft is a family accomplishment? And this is why I'm asking. To this point, you're 18 years old. For me, I was away from home for one season because I was a 17-year-old, turned 18, got drafted. I was away from home for one season. So my entire hockey career, my family was with everything with me through and through. I believe that it's a family accomplishment when us as players get drafted to this league. Do you have an opinion on that? Because I know you're a big family guy.
No, absolutely. We talked about, me and my brother playing all these games that, whether it directly helped hockey or not, it helped in some way. It was just constantly playing some type of sport and, working on your hands, whatever it was. Couldn't have done it without my parents. Mm-hmm. Waking up Winnipeg, waking up at 5 a.m., going to stand outside at outdoor rink, wearing a balaclava, trying to get some hot chocolate or coffee in you. Yeah. Could not have done it without my mom and dad. Could not have done it without my nana and grandpa. My grandpa funded a lot of my hockey. Mm-hmm. My nana is, the sweetest lady that came to as much sports as she could, supported me any way she could. It is absolutely a family accomplishment, yeah.
Yeah, man. I love it, man. I love it. I appreciate the depth. I appreciate all of that. Thank you so much. So now, yes, I agree with you. I believe it is. The way that I kind of look at it is when a player gets drafted to the NHL, Ryan, it's almost like the NHL as a corporation is saying, listen, we're recognizing your family now for all the sacrifice, the blood, sweat, and tears, the 6 a.m. practices, in the peg, in the cold. Now, we're going to give Ryan an opportunity to make a career out of this, but we want to recognize your family right now. And then from that point, it's really up to us what we do with it. And I guess, 800 plus games later, bro, you definitely passed.
I got to do the family proud, right? Yeah.
I gotta give a little clap for that. So, all right, man. So, let's get into this. I'm buddies with Cam Janssens.
Wait, sorry. I got to rewind here.
Okay, yes, please.
Hot chocolate and raisin toast is a crazy combo.
Hot chocolate and raisin bran toast, yes.
Crazy combo.
Have you done
Are
it?
you dipping it in there?
No, I wasn't dipping it in. I
do like raisin
sip.
toast. Okay,
I like to sip,
enough.
and then the raisin bran toast, man.
I don't know why when you said that. I thought you were.
Oh, you thought I was dipping?
I thought you were dipping and stirring. And
oh no! There's no dipping. No dipping. Separate, but together.
Gotcha. All right.
Right on. So, I'm buddies with Cam Janssens.
Okay.
I know that Janssens. I think I read that he went down with a concussion.
Yeah.
And the Ryan Reaves show, as a result, got called up. So now here's my question to you. How did you find out you got called up?
I got a call saying Jans collided with Brad Winchester in practice.
Okay.
I think they were both hurt, actually, and I was coming up for my first game. And game didn't go as well as I thought it. As well as I had hoped.
Yeah.
I think I had 3 hits, 2.5 minutes, and 15 penalty minutes.
I saw the 15 penalty minutes. Yeah. So what happened? Like, was it 3 tilts? Was there
no, it was
2 tilts and a hit from behind?
No, it was 1 tilt and my tie down wasn't done.
10-minute misconduct.
Yeah, and a game.
And a game. So who was the tilt? First NHL fight, regular season.
Man, what's his name?
Man, I'm
drawing a blank too.
He was the first fight for the current NHL heavyweight champ.
I'm drawing a blank.
That's okay.
Me and him used to we used to go to war in junior against each other. It'll come to me.
If you think of the two, who was the team? Do you remember the team?
It was
Don't even worry about all that.
It was
okay.
Anaheim. Chipchera.
Anaheim.
Kyle Chipchera.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, right on. And was this in Anaheim?
No, in St. Louis.
In St. Louis.
Yeah.
Okay.
Beat the shit out of him, but got kicked
Did
out
you?
of the game. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so how long was the first call up? Like, how long were you up for that stint?
I don't think very long. Maybe a couple games, and I know I believe my last game on that stint was against Columbus in St. Louis, and I had a terrible game. Terrible.
Okay.
I think the jitters were still there from the first game getting kicked out. Coach wasn't too happy with me about that.
Yeah.
And that next game, I think it was the next game. I still remember the play. The puck was coming to me, and I went to chip it out of our zone.
Yeah.
And the puck went off the glass and just popped right in the slot for them. And
Wow.
I got a scoring. Oh man, I can still see it. And I came back to them, and it's like, I'm getting sent down today.
I appreciate you sharing
Yeah,
that. Man.
you know.
Okay, so now, and the reason why I'm asking is when I was in the AHL battling to get up to Buffalo, me and Andrew Peters had a pretty good relationship. Like he was better buddies with me than anyone else, but me and him were battling for a spot. It was very weird, especially when we were both on Rochester.
Yeah.
What was it like with you and Bam Bam Cam, man? Like it's awkward, but
You know, at first it was really good because he was real nice to me. He invited me over to his place, have a couple of beers after an exhibition game. We went over to his place. I actually ended up sleeping there. He was great to me in the beginning, and then I think, naturally, I think I was starting to take his spot, and
Yep.
and it kind of went a little sour.
Yep.
And I'm not saying anything bad about Cam because
Of course, yeah.
that's a tough situation to be in when you're trying to be friends with a guy who's literally taking your spot. But he was great for sure. I think it was just kind of the last couple months was a little bit I guess a little awkward.
So you're talking about you guys are both up and you're getting in the lineup more than him. You're like, was that the situation?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
He started getting scratched a little bit,
Yeah.
and I think the writing was kind of on the wall.
Okay.
And naturally, you're going to be pissed off. And,
Of course.
It's tough to look at a guy and be happy with him when he's
Yeah.
trying to take your job.
Exactly. I had to ask you because a lot of like people that follow hockey, they always wonder how that works because there's the systems. There's especially with our role, even though it's changed dramatically, it's still you go into camp and you're like, okay, I'm competing against this guy and this guy. Like that's what it is. Oh shit, this guy's my buddy. Well, that's the business, right? Yeah. So it's interesting how that works. I had to ask, what about right now? Do you guys have a relationship right now, you and Camp?
Yeah, we talk once in a while, and
Okay.
every time I see him, I'll hang out with him for sure.
Right on.
Oh yeah.
Big shout out to
Big
Cam,
shout
big
out to
Cam,
Cam. Yeah, baby.
Bam Bam Cam Janssens. Right on. So, all right. So I also wanted to get into like what you got going on right now. 7-5 Brewing.
Yeah, baby. 7-5.
7-5 Brewing. Tell the people what it is, Ryan.
7-5 Brewing is a beer company. It started after my first year in Vegas. We have 5 beers out right now, and it's only in Vegas, unfortunately. But depending on how this first year goes in Toronto, I might squeak it down to Canada.
Yeah,
Sneak it up to
I mean,
Canada, I guess. Sorry.
That's going to be extremely exciting. I mean, if you do end up coming up here, like Leaf Nation's very strong. Leaf Nation's very proud. We're going to have a winning team again this year. Now we've added pieces that we've been missing. So everyone's going to be happy. Now, why would you not want?
Oh, no, no. I want to.
No, not you. I'm just saying the customers, when it does come up here, why would someone say, I do not want the Leafs Tough Guys beer? I don't want it. Of course they want it. Give me that.
Why don't you want it?
Give me that.
You want it? Yes. It's in the back. They want some. There you go.
You see what I'm saying? Okay, so that's cool. So when did it start? And like I thought it was interesting when we were talking earlier, like the whole setup that you had in Vegas. Like, do you mind telling the?
Yeah. So after my first year, I signed 2 more years, and I was big into the craft scene. Then I was always like trying new beers, and Vegas was very behind. You go to Denver, Portland, all these places, they have breweries everywhere. Vegas had, I think, Nevada had 20 in the whole state, whatever the number was. Anyways, I had a buddy that used to work for Labatt up in Canada, and I said, let's just go meet with some people and see what we can do here. and he had another company up in Calgary, so he wasn't actually going to join me. He was just going to run some meetings with me. And we left Vegas, and he landed, called me right away and said, I'm joining the team. Like, let's start something. I think we got something here. And that was August, and by December we had our first beer. We threw a big launch party at a bar out in Vegas. 1,000 people came out. It was a blast, and the city supported it way better than I ever imagined. They were coming out to events. They were drinking it all game. It was still sold at T-Mobile Arena up top at Hyde Lounge. So they definitely helped with that brand out in Vegas.
So that's awesome, man. That was awesome. So anybody in the industry that's listening to this, let's get our minds together. Reach out to this man. Give him an offer. Do something. Let's get something going.
Let's talk. Yeah.
Let's talk. Right. So now speaking of some of the businesses, I gotta say for this episode, I got a lot of support. I got a lot of support for some sponsorships. Kockey Wear, where confidence is everything. Kockey Wear has been a big supporter of the show. Jason's Moving Made Easy. I'm going to be playing with the owner this year. They're based out in the Belleville area. Guys, you got to check them out. Zenpai Dispensery, presented by my boy Raymond LaRose. They're not open yet, but check that out. Please look them up. And One Stop Hockey Shop. They're an incredible skate sharpening shop in Eastern Ontario. Check them out too, guys. I had to get that in there, Ryan.
No problem.
You know, with 7-5
Gotta take care
Brewing.
of the sponsors.
Yeah, sponsors are very important. Sponsors are very important. So with the 7-5 Brewing, did you always think that you might have something like this, or did it just come up, or what?
You know what? I was sitting at my kitchen counter in Winnipeg with my wife, and she had been bugging me to do something with the name Grim Reaver. Somebody gave me that nickname in St. Louis, and she's like, why don't you just make some clothing or something? And one day she's like, why don't you start a beer company with Grim Reaver? And I was like, yeah, fuck it, why not?
Yeah.
Sorry, my bad.
No, it's cool.
I called, I think I was calling lawyers that day, and we actually didn't name it Grim Reaver. My buddy thought it would be a little too aggressive of a name for a company.
Yeah.
But we have a beer called Grim Reaver.
Okay.
That's our biggest, baddest beer we got. But yeah, that's how it came up. So shout out to the wife for pushing me to do that.
Yes, absolutely. Happy wife, happy life.
Happy wife, happy life. There we go.
They make the best decisions for us. All right, right on. So now we're kind of coming to the end here, man. And I feel so blessed because, honestly, brother, I've seen, on July 2nd, you had your press conference. It was Zoom. I seen the nice shirt. You're always dressed nice, bro. You got really good style. You got really good style. But I seen the nice shirt. I seen you on the Zoom. But I'm like, you know what? I haven't seen anyone really get access to this guy. I haven't seen TSN or Sports that. I haven't seen any live interviews. I'm feeling so blessed, man, that I'm getting a shot at you first.
Cut from the same cloth. That's why.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. So this is like player to player here, man. I gotta tell you, I've been watching this team since I was a little kid. Leaf Nation, strongest nation probably in the world. We are so happy to have you here, bro.
I appreciate it.
We are so happy to have you here, bro. You have no idea. I have nothing against the way the team was run before, but I'm so happy the moves that are made this year. This is what I'm asking as a fan. I'm a former player and I'm a fan. Now, I know the shape, the commitment that you put in this year, the shape that you're in, like you said, you got to keep up with these young guys. I know everything that you've done to prepare. I also know that the first couple games, we try to set a tone. Ryan, I'm telling you right now, buddy, you guys are probably going to win those first couple games. You're going to hit everything in sight. I know a lot of guys don't want to take you on. It's hard for you to find tilt sometimes. But, bro, if it happens,
it happens, right?
If it happens,
that's right.
So now this is a little bit of insight I thought you'd appreciate because it's always fun to hear things like this. My family's friends with the Stewarts and with Wayne Simmons' family. And I have two younger brothers that are the same age as both of them. And those guys, I'm talking about Chris Stewart and Wayne Simmons. They've told my brothers that them themselves or guys that they know, guys that have fought you, They say it's like he's punching right through you, man.
You're supposed to punch
like
through him.
Right?
Yeah.
It's right through him. So like, I mean, this is all just kind of, you know, just for play. But I want you to show me, man. I want you to show me how you line up, because I know you do this stuff. Right? I love it. So
this, yeah.
okay, so this is my stance.
Yeah.
So what are you doing? What are you doing if I'm doing this?
Nothing.
You're doing nothing. You're waiting, right? You're watching.
I'm waiting for an opening.
No, you're watching me breathe heavy.
Oh, yeah.
You're watching me waste all my energy.
Yeah.
You're calm.
Always.
You're calm.
Always.
So let me see it again. I love, because I just want to know what it's like.
Yeah.
I want to know what it's like to fight the NHL heavyweight champ. So you're down like that.
Yeah.
You're watching.
I'm watching.
So now if I'm coming in,
Yeah.
you're doing that.
Sometimes.
Okay,
It depends. It depends on how you come in. Because if you.
Okay. So I'm doing this. I'm timing it, and I'm coming
Yeah.
in. Okay, so I'm coming in.
Yeah.
And then what are you doing now? What are you doing?
I'm trying to.
I can't move. He's that strong.
I'm trying to control where you want to grab.
Okay, so then if I'm gonna try to control you like this, then
Yeah.
what are you doing there?
I'm probably trying to move this.
Oh man, that's awesome. Okay,
All
so now, all right, so
All while distracting you with my little
Okay.
moving this. You know what I mean? I'm moving this.
I'm getting hurt. This is how strong he is.
I'm just trying to make you uncomfortable.
Okay,
Right?
all
Because
right.
if you're uncomfortable, then you're scrambling the whole time, and I just want to be comfortable in my stance.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, right on. So now, here's my question to you. When you do find that first tilt, when you do find it, like the Toronto fans they're gonna scream.
They better.
What do you think? How do you think you should salute? You got to salute the crowd, right?
I mean, I've been doing the guns a little bit.
Have you been doing the guns?
I've been shooting this one a lot.
Hey man. Okay, so it happens, and are you doing this?
That came out last year a little bit, and that was kind of my thing. So
Okay.
might
So
keep
that might come out.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna keep that.
Okay, cool, man.
But you never know, because if I'm that fired up, something else might come out. So we'll see.
Yes. Okay, so tell me. Okay, so just a couple more questions. Who are you most looking forward to playing with? Like, it doesn't even have to be one of the big names. It could be like a buddy or something that you played with like in junior. Who are you looking forward to meeting on this squad, man?
Honestly, Domi, because we hate each other on the ice.
No way.
Oh, on the ice.
Okay,
but
so
we're boys now. Like we squashed that.
Yeah.
The second
But
I
that's
seen
how
him-
it used to be.
Oh yeah, and he's I think I've always thought of him one of those guys that I hate on the ice and I would like off the ice, and it's confirmed.
Okay. So now Max is pretty tough though, eh?
Yeah, he's a little
so have you
scrappy.
guys fought?
No, come on.
Okay, so you guys haven't fought.
Stop. No.
He didn't go that far, right?
No. No
I'm telling-
offense, Max.
Hey,
No.
hey Max. Max, I'm a big fan of yours, buddy. No, but I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Okay, so Max told me. That's cool, man. Now, were you a fan of his dad growing up? You must have
was,
been.
absolutely.
Oh my God.
Absolutely.
I think he was one of my favorites, man.
Yeah.
So have you met Ty?
You know what? I shot a commercial with Ric Flair, and
No way,
And
man.
those two are good friends, and we went out for a couple beers after. And for some reason, he decided to FaceTime Ty. That was the first time I ever talked to him.
No way.
Yeah, it was a cool moment for me, for sure.
Okay, that's a super cool moment. But let's talk about doing a commercial with Ric Flair. So Ric Flair, man,
Car shield.
the nature boy.
The nature boy.
So because you know that I do the woo all the time,
Yeah.
man. A lot of guys do that.
And so does he.
No, it's his thing. No, that's
oh,
his thing. I'm doing it. 'Cause
You know what's funny?
It's a tribute to Rick.
I asked him at the bar. I was like, "You ever get tired of wooing for everybody?" He just looked at me and goes, "Kid, pays the bills."
No way.
All right.
Hey man, honestly, man, like he's probably one of my favorite wrestlers growing up.
For sure.
You know, other than Hulk Hogan and all those guys, right? So that's cool, man. So now Ryan, this is first access to you in Toronto. Is there anything that you want to say, man? I know I'm putting you on the spot. We're used to being put on the
man,
spot.
just get ready for the season. It's going to be a hell of one. That's it.
That's it.
That's all I got for you.
That's it. Okay. Good job. Hey, and you know what? No, but that's it. That's exactly how I wanted to end it. I want to thank all the listeners for tuning in to another episode of The Sheriff. We'll see you guys next time. Woo!